Home prices up 40% in the last 5 years. Mortgage rates have more than doubled. Stock market and 401k all over the place, and uncertainty in the political climate, home and abroad. There are so many reasons right now why buyers are just holding off. 2024 was the slowest market in 30 years in terms of how many homes were sold across America. At the end of last year, we were thinking, wow, can't wait to get into 2025. It's going to be a better year. January and February are actually pretty good, but all of a sudden it screeched to a halt. And 2025 is actually going to be a slower year in terms of sales, probably, than last year. How did this happen? So what does it look like for sellers right now? How are you getting your home sold right now for the most amount of money? And is it actually a good time for buyers? Let's play devil's advocate. Yes, home prices are high, but in Southern California, for example, they're not going to be coming down. They're going to be stagnant, I think, for the next couple of years. But we're not going to be seeing a 10, 20% crash like maybe some other states. The Southern California housing market is very robust. But mortgage rates should be coming down. I know we've been saying this for the last 18 months, but to be honest, in the next 2 years, currently filming this video, rates are 6.7. We got to get down into the high fives, hopefully the low fives in the next 2 years. You will be able to refinance. All my lenders right now are saying we will refinance you for free in the next 5 years. So if you can afford homes, the beauty of being a buyer right now, there's more homes on the market right now than pretty much any time in the last 5 or 6 years. Homes are sticking. Days on market is going up. 30 to 45 days now is the new norm. It used to be 7 or less days selling a home. Now sellers, after 2 weeks, if the home hasn't sold, they are freaking out. So as a buyer, you have more power now. Less multiple offers. You can get deals, if that's still a thing. You can ask for more when it comes to requests for repairs. You can ask for seller credits. You can have the seller even now buy down your rate. I've done it several times this year where the seller credits you money and you buy down your rate 2% in the first year, 1% in the second year. So you could actually get a 4.7% mortgage rate right now if you're a conventional buyer. I'm also seeing sellers pay for termites right now, make fixes that the buyers are requesting. This has not happened in the last 4 years. Sellers had so much power when the mortgage rates were low and multiple offers were abundant, but it is gradually changing. We've gone from a huge seller's market and we've gradually, if you ask me, moving into a buyer's market. Now, sellers still are doing well. If your home is marketed well, your home is priced well, in a strong market, you're still selling your home for more than the crazy times 2 or 3 years ago. It's just taking a bit longer. And you know what? Even contingent offers are being thought about now from sellers. I've done a couple of contingent offers myself. This was unheard of a couple of years ago, 5 years ago during COVID. So the fact that contingent offers are now being considered, I think it shows you how much the market has actually shifted. But before you say, you know what, Matt, this is great, but we're going to wait until mortgage rates are in the 3s again, or maybe the 4s, you might be waiting a long time. Are we going to get back into the 5s? Absolutely. Could it take 12 to 24 months? Yes. Are we going to get into the 4s? I highly doubt it. And the 3s, unless we have some sort of World War III or COVID comes back or there's a natural disaster that creates unemployment and all this badness, we're not going to see the 3s again. I think the government has learned not to bring these prices, these mortgage rates down that low because it just creates a frenzy. I was actually speaking to a 25-year-old a couple of days ago. He's thinking of moving from Pittsburgh to Southern California. And he said, Matt, I just feel like I've missed the boat. If only I could have bought 5 years ago. You have never missed the boat when it comes to buying real estate. Trust me. People have been saying that we missed the boat 30 years ago. We missed the boat 20 years was the best time to buy. 2009 was the best time to buy when house prices crashed. If you ask me, it's always a good time to get on the market. Yes, home prices can go like this, like the stock market, but over 10 years, home prices are always going to go up unless you get extremely unlucky, which is highly unlikely. So you haven't missed a boat. I don't care. Get on the market. You're going to see appreciation and you're going to get value in purchasing a home long term. That is for sure. If you're wondering who I am, I'm Matt Tilley, the British bloke. I'm a realtor in Southern California. If you are looking to move here, reach out. I love it when clients reach out from YouTube, and I hope to help you. Now, if you're a home seller and you're thinking of selling your home, especially in Southern California, you're going to be okay. Your home might not sell in 7 days. You might not get 6 offers, but it is going to sell, and it is going to sell for a price that you're happy with, as long as you work with a realtor who knows what they're doing. I had someone the other week go with a discount broker because they charged them $5,000 less in commission. It's not about how much you pay in commission. It's about how much you net at the end of the deal, right? If that seller paid that realtor $5,000 less, but I could make you $15,000 more, a net profit of 10 grand, who are you going to go with? But for some reason, sellers get really caught up. I want to pay the minimum amount of commission. Often, when you're working with discount brokers, you're not going to get the full service package. You're not going to get an agent who knows how to navigate escrow, who knows how to think out the box if it's going sideways, who knows how to talk to buyers' agents and negotiate and be strong and be firm and be happy picking up the phone negotiating. There's a lot that goes into buying and selling homes. So if you are a seller, you can't just put up your home on the market now and just sit back and wait for all these offers coming in, right? You've really got to focus. Make sure your house is tidy. Declutter. Try and get 25 to 30% of stuff out of your home if you've lived there for longer than 20 years, or put it into the garage. Decluttering a home is so important. I also love staging. If you have big, bulky furniture or old furniture, and I know you're going to be like, Matt, it's $5,000 to stage my house. You know what? If I told you to put 5 grand into the stock market and in 35 days time, 45 days time, that 5 grand is going to make you 40,000 bucks, you'd probably do it. It's the same as staging in Southern California. $1 million home, $1.5 million home. If you spend 5 or 6 grand staging, it's going to look beautiful. Studies show, I've done it so many times, I 100% believe in staging. It's going to make you 30, 40, 50 grand more, and it's going to sell your home a lot quicker. Staging is so important, and I highly recommend it if your home doesn't look great. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. I do videos every week on what it's like to live in Southern California, tips and tricks and all that good stuff. Hope to see you at my next video. Also, for a couple of $100, clean the windows. It's amazing how much nicer a house looks when the windows are cleaned. I just did it a couple of weeks ago and the seller was like, wow, I had no idea how filthy my windows are. It looks a lot better in the photos and it just looks a lot more appealing when buyers are walking up to your house. Also, photos on the wall. If you've lived at your house 10, 20, 50 years and you have hundreds and hundreds of family photos on the walls, take them down. Yes, you can keep a few up there. But when people are walking around your house trying to imagine themselves living there and all they're seeing is photos of other families, it's very hard for them to feel like it's somewhere they could live. Put the family photos away. Same with religious artifacts. If you've got lots of crosses or religious things all over the walls, keep a couple up, that's fine. But if they're in every room, above the bed, in bathrooms, all around the house, just keep up a couple of your favorites and just take them down for the sale of the home. And also sellers, this is a huge one. The first 7 days your home is on the market is when it's most valuable. Make it easy to show. Make it look as good as you can. And if you get a couple of offers, the worst thing I hear from sellers is that, you know what, we like the offer, but we're going to wait another 7 days, a couple of weeks to see what else comes in. That way, maybe we can get these buyers to come up. You know what? I had people do that just a couple of weeks ago. 2 weeks later, we went back to the buyers. They found another house. They got insulted that we were waiting. They've moved on. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, the sellers are begging to get an offer like that again. Waiting for better offers is not the best thing to do. It's a terrible idea, actually. The first 7 days, like I said, the first 2 weeks, if you're getting a couple of offers, negotiate with those buyers and highly consider accepting that offer if it's asking price or close to asking price. It's probably going to be the best offer you get. And to all my buyers, now is a great time to be a buyer. Less competition, lots of homes on the market, and you can negotiate. But the biggest error I see is buyers just going to look at homes who haven't been pre approved yet. And you might be like, oh, well, I'll get pre approved really quickly. I have a lender friend, it's only going to take a day. I've seen buyers not having a pre approval lose a house because it took them 3 or 4 days to get everything to the lender to get their pre approval. And by that time, the sellers had accepted another offer, or there's more hoops they've got to go through. They haven't filed taxes. They've got to file taxes. They've got to do this. They've got to do that. They can't afford as much as they thought. So they've been looking at $600,000 homes or $900,000 homes, and they can't afford these homes. And they've just wasted 3 or 4 months of their life because they didn't realize how much it's going to cost. Also, on the contrary, I've had buyers thinking they could afford a certain amount. They got pre-approved and they can actually afford way more. And they're like, what? We've just spent all this time looking at these other houses and now we can go look at even better homes. So get pre-approved. It's probably the most important thing you're going to do as a buyer, and find a great agent, obviously. It is a scary time to buy a house, uncertainty for sure. But if you can get on the market as a buyer right now, if you're ready, if you're pre-approved and you can afford to buy, my advice is to do it. I have a feeling this year is going to be a slow market. You can be aggressive, you can negotiate, you can get credit, you can get things fixed, you can get a buy down. I do think 2026, 2027, there's going to be so much pent up demand. And when mortgage rates do drop into the fives, which they will eventually do, I think there's going to be a lot of buyers out there, and it's going to be harder again. So if you are a buyer, take a deep breath. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's see what your needs and your wants are. I do believe it's a good time to buy if you can afford it and if you're not scared of the uncertainty that's going on. Good luck.